Member for Nelson Creston.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Well, there's no doubt that in British Columbia there are many successes in the technology sector. I only have to go a few kilometres down the road outside of Nelson to see one of the successes, and that's Pacific Insight in my constituency. There they are designing and manufacturing technology used in the automotive industry, in the agricultural industry, as well as in the marine industry all across North America. Other examples, a very popular example for all age groups, is Hootsuite. We all know Hootsuite, especially in this house. Many of us use Hootsuite to manage our varied social media accounts, and they have had international success as well, Honourable Speaker. And I'm also reminded of Silicon Sisters, which is the first female-owned and operated video game studio in Canada, and it's housed right in Gastown in Vancouver. And a few years ago I heard about them, I read about them in the news, and was absolutely fascinated, especially as a geek myself who enjoys video gaming. I decided to visit them, and there I spoke with Brenda Bailey Gershkovitz, who's the CEO of Silicon Sisters. And they make some very fascinating games for women and girls, particularly games that help young women, girls, develop their self-esteem and their self-confidence. And they're doing some very cutting-edge things with gaming and really taking the lead in British Columbia as women in an industry that isn't always very favorable to women, as they'll say themselves. So there's no doubt that technology does play a vital role in BC's economy. I don't think there's anyone who would suggest otherwise. And that sector has certainly shown that with its growth and potential, it has a lot to offer British Columbia and our overall economy and GDP as a whole. But the thing is, Honourable Speaker, is that when a government says they will support that growth, they will support that potential, they need to back that up, back those words up with action. And so in looking at the current budget for innovation and technology, what we see is that that budget has been flatlined, Honourable Speaker. Now, we know that we need to invest in this sector, and that means that we need to look at what are our strategic investments, how much can we invest, and should we be investing more than we have in previous years, especially since British Columbia is lagging behind other provinces. So right now, in this year's budget, we see a flat line. We also only see $2 million to increase high-speed internet access in rural and remote areas. Many of my constituents